Hello, this is Josh Mulls, and this is our first ever episode of our podcast. This episode is called The One with Kyle and Lennox. Originally, we were going to do radio shows and podcasts, but due to a faulty connection on the speakers, we cannot do radio shows anymore. So we're going to do Instagram live streams instead. This episode includes an interview with Lennox before he decided to be a co-host on this podcast/show, and an interview with Kyle. When I recorded Lennox's interview, I used the old Insta name, but the new one is JL Priestley Radio. However, you can still email at the address mentioned. There have been a lot of technical issues with my laptop not loading up Windows Movie Maker, so I've done this podcast with iMovie on my phone. So I've took a lot of time into this, so if you like the video, please like, subscribe and pass on to a friend, and another one if you can. Also, there was an issue with the microphone settings on Kyle's interview, so apologies for that. We promise we will get better with time, like takeaway food when you've got leftovers the next day. Thanks for listening. I'm here with Lennox Manjama from Priestley College. I'm going to ask you about your religious, political views as well as some personal questions. Thanks for being the first guest on the show. Before I start, I just wanted to give a shout out to Frankie, who says she hates the idea of this show. And Ben will be a bit annoyed at me for this, but I wanted to give him a shout out. He said the show was a pretty good idea and that he wants to come on at some point.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah. You didn't actually say that. Anyway, Lennox, are you religious?
Yes, I am religious. I was born and bred in a Christian family in Greater Manchester. I've attended Catholic schools since I was ever since I was born, honestly, to be fair, because in primary it was Catholic, high school was Catholic as well. So all my life I've been kind of brought up with the Christian tradition. So yeah, I would say I'm religious. But in terms of how strict I am with my religion, I'd say I am quite strict on myself and how religious I am daily anyway.
So would you say that you're this because of being in that kind of school? Or would you say that what would you say the differences between a religious school and a non-religious school?
I'd say because after high school I kind of went to a different city, so I went to a non-Catholic school.
Yeah.
So from the Catholic school I've realised that in comparison to the non-Catholic school, they're both kind of similar, but the Catholic school is a bit more, there's more like, I don't know how to say, but there's more Christian images around, and they really try to like convey like the idea of Christianity towards their students a bit more, and they really try to adapt it to their lessons a bit more. Every week they try to do that, and in the assemblies in the Catholic school, we'd always have to sing hymns.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the non-Catholic school, we didn't do that. So there was quite a difference. It was a bit weird kind of getting used to it, but yeah.
So you could say that in normal schools, you could say that in RS and things, religion's kind of touched on for like a term or so. And then where in religious schools, it's a prominent thing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they really try to like convey it to their students. I think it's really good, especially even if as a student you're not really Catholic or Christian at all. It's really good because it kind of helps you, like educates you more about Christianity as a religion. I think that's really good and what most students need nowadays, because everyone like needs to like know what each religion is about so that they can like make their like final decision on who they are. Yeah, and inform. Yeah.
Do you think Christianity should be taught in schools? I probably think you're going to say yes to this because of...
I mean, I am a Christian, so I would promote it. I think it should be taught in schools. As I said before, gives students a bit more options to and kind of educates them more about Christians and how we live and our views on our religion and on a day-to-day basis.
Just to let the audience of about 5 people know that we're going off like a certain set of questions, but I'm going off a bit because I'm actually genuinely quite interested myself in Christianity. But I will carry on with the questions as well.
Hey.
Anyway, shout out to Simon, David, Eric, probably. They're probably going to say 3 names who are listening. Anyway, who has influenced your political and religious beliefs?
Okay, so I think for political and religious, it's mainly my parents. It's mainly my parents, to be honest, but ever since I was until the age of 14, I would say. But then as I've kind of like matured and grown older, I've kind of done a bit of research myself in my spare time, and I've kind of like not publicized, but like finalized my views as a person that I think is a person. But I would say my parents mainly played a huge role in my beliefs of today.
Okay. On a more of a political note, what political party do you support?
Okay. In terms of political party, now this may be a bit controversial, but I do not support any political party.
Oh my god, a teenager not supporting a political party. Oh.
Oh no, the controversy.
Yeah.
But it's only because I know some of you may think this is stupid, but from my perspective, every political party has its rights and wrong. So there's no political party. Nobody can say that there's a political party that is completely correct.
Yeah,
because they each have their like own individual flaws, but they're just they all have their own ways of they all have different ways of like trying to do what's best for the country, but sometimes what they think is not all correct, if that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Recently, I watched the news, and there was a news story of a gay rights advocate who wanted a message that advocated gay rights on a cake in a Christian bakery. This man was refused because of the message on the cake. Do you agree with the refusal of the cake?
Quite controversial, this situation. Now, as a Christian, in our religion, we don't. Well, in the Bible, it states that men are not supposed to be gay or women, but so as Christians, we don't. Some Christians have remorse when they see gay people. So, but for the man, the Christian baker, you can kind of tell where he was coming from, because as a Christian, he must have been quite strict as a Christian, and he may have been quite strict in his religious views. But as a modern society of today, us Christians have kind of adapted to accept everyone for who they are, and we expect everyone for their views and what they want to do in life, because we as Christians, we believe that everyone's God's child, and God gave us the right to, make our own decisions. So the gay rights on the cake, I think it was a bit inappropriate from the baker, but you can kind of see where it's coming from.
I understand that. I think it's a hard debate to decide.
Yeah.
I think that's one that will never be fully, completely answered.
Yeah.
In dark times, how does religion help you?
Okay, so whenever I'm feeling low, religion does help me a lot. So if I have a situation that I'm struggling with, or I'm feeling really depressed or lonely at times, the first thing I do is just pray, because when we pray, it's not all about like kneeling down and like screaming from the top of your lungs. It's mainly about communicating with God. Having that connection with God is the most important thing to us as Christians. So
I believe.
Yeah, it's really important to like speak to God in your spare time, because He is like everyone's Father. He's there for anyone. So I believe, in my dark time, I pray or sing a little hymn, just to kind of like livens me up for the day. Yeah.
That's very touching. I think this links into the last question, to be honest. Does religion affect your lifestyle?
Yes. In some ways, it kind of does. So it affects the way not the way I talk, but the kind of language that I use. So daily, I kind of try to cut down on the amount of colloquial language that I use daily, because it's not, as Christians, we believe that's not right. Also, the way we dress, we're allowed to like cover ourselves up in any clothing that we want, but we can't be like clothed in like see-through tops and see-through trousers, etc., because as Christians, we believe that it's not right. we're not saying that it's not acceptable for people to be doing that, because everyone has the freedom of choice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it does affect the way I live and me as a person, but it does help me especially to like better myself as a person daily, and helps me want to progress more as a human. Yeah.
What would you say to people who are starting to become religious?
I would say definitely I would do a bit of research into the religion that you're going into, or that you're thinking of going into. Like, don't just research one, research all the different ones, because you may find a religion that you really enjoy, and then you may find another one which you really enjoy. So then you can contrast between the different religions, and then you can make your final decision at the end of who you really want to be as a person, which religion you can follow. Yeah.
What do you think about the mentality of some of the population assuming that people from certain religions, for example, Muslims are terrorists?
Yeah. I think all those associations about, especially Muslims, they've all been made via the internet, which has played a huge role in that. Just because some people from a certain religion may have done something bad or may have made a mistake, it doesn't mean it should affect how people see the whole religion, because I know like Islam is not all about violence, etc., and they definitely do not promote that. So I'd say the media definitely publicizes some false information to our society of today, giving people like a bad mentality of a certain religion when it's definitely not true. Yeah.
Have you ever been discriminated against because of your religion and race?
My religion, I'm not discriminated for that, because people respect that I openly admit that I'm a Christian, because some people hide the fact that they are religious, just because some people not everyone believes in God. But in terms of race, I have been discriminated because of my race. I've kind of been outcasted, especially in primary school, because of my colour, which I don't believe is right at all. And as a Christian in the Catholic school, even though it was a Catholic school, there was still some form of discrimination towards me and people of my colour. So, yeah, so the fact that I have religion to help me through, that was really helpful. But every day I do feel like I'm somewhat discriminated because of the way I look. Yeah.
I think it can be such a hard society sometimes.
It is, yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time?
Okay, in my spare time, I don't think any of you would know this, but I secretly dance.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Bit of Billy Elliot.
Every afternoon after college, I'm in the drama studio or I'm in the dance studio dancing.
Is it like professional lessons?
Yeah, because I do like maths, biology, chemistry, like physics.
Yeah.
Those like really hard subjects, loads of calculations, constantly thinking. So I use dance as a way to like relax my brain and just let loose and have fun and just chill out.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
My kind of therapy is like running and cycling.
Yeah.
I think everyone has their own thing that they do to just unwind. Even if it's been a good day, just unwind.
Yeah.
What subjects do you take at college?
I take maths, biology, physics and chemistry. Now I know a lot of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, he's a nerd, but I just pick the subjects that I enjoy and that I'm good at, because those are the subjects that I really want to progress in and take to the next level at university. So yeah, they are really hard subjects, but yeah, I just make sure I'm focused in each lesson and make sure I do all the homework and make sure I revise each and every single topic learned within the lesson.
Nice. I know I've contradicted by asking the same question twice, but it's going to happen on Radio Features. So what do you think of Priestley College?
Honestly, it's actually a really good college. I would highly recommend this college because I've moved here from Manchester like 2 months ago. At the start of college term, I legit knew nobody at all. But as time went on, I started to make more friends. I met great people. I even met the host now, who's a really good person.
Thanks.
Shout out to Josh.
Hey.
But yeah, the teachers as well, very supportive. The facilities around the whole college and the cafes and the dining spaces are really open and there for everyone at any time. So yeah, it's definitely a good college. I would highly recommend it to anybody that's looking for a college right now.
Yeah, recommend it to your siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before this interview, I was told about a teacher called Mark Salmon. I've heard great rumours of this teacher. Does he live up to what people say about him?
Okay, Mark Salmon. He is a very famous figure within the college. He is a very good teacher. Like, he's very supportive. Like, at the end of the class, I always ask him a question, and he's very open to it. Sometimes he may not have the strength, or may be asleep in his chair to answer the question. But he's definitely a very funny teacher. He has a lot of humour. He's not too strict as a teacher, because he gives his students a bit of space to like do their own thing, and he doesn't really shout. When he does shout, then you definitely know you've done something wrong. So yeah, he's a very good teacher, I'd say. One of my favourites within the college, I'd say. Yeah.
Very good review.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of this interview? Do you agree with Lennox's views? Message me on Instagram, JM Priestley Radio, or email at, right, get your pens ready, even though no one has a pen with them. Or their notes on their phone.
Oh.
Yeah, they might have it up. So JM 05 249 300 at priestley.ac.uk. I'll repeat one more time. JM 05 249 300 at priestley.ac.uk.
And if anyone wants my Snapchat, just add the username LennoxCod1. It's Lennox, my name, and then COD1. For anyone who wants to ask any further questions on my beliefs, yes.
Please ask. Yeah, please.
Please.
Well, before I close off the interview, I just wanted to say that to keep kind of BBC-like, we are going to get an atheist on.
Yes.
Who supports Labour, actually.
Ooh.
And we're getting someone who supports the far-right party.
Mm-hmm.
I know everyone will probably scream in the hall because the mainstream, it's not very mainstream, but we're trying to create, like, if you know what I mean, a sense of, like, a mix of different things.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening to this pre-recorded thing. I don't want to trick you, this is pre-recorded.
Yeet.
Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Hey guys, it's me, Lennox, and Kyle here, and today I'm interviewing Kyle, and he's licking the microphone, and I'm asking some questions, and Lennox is as well. So we're going to bring up the questions. So, do you want to start, Lennox?
Oh, right. Oh, shit. We're starting.
Professionalism at its finest. I think you need the Yoshi.
Yes, I do. Hi. So, Kyle, are you more left or right wing?
Just love that voice. Ultimately, I'd say I'm more left wing because obviously I come from a working class family and we're quite poor, so the left wing helps people in my situation out more. Because when I was growing up, my mum was in a lot of debt, and we were essentially on the dole, so £80 a fortnight, really not good living situations.
Oh.
And left wing helps people out like us more, although admittedly, the right wing is better for the country overall.
Do you respect other people's views?
Yeah, it's like, I don't see the point in not respecting it. It's like, you might disagree with them, but at the end of the day, it's their views. They're not going to affect you unless they're like a dictatorship.
That's Putin's at your door.
Yeah, it's not going to affect you. What's the point in getting offended over it? Offended's the wrong word, to be honest, but still.
So, when did you first get into politics?
To be honest, I'm not really that much into politics. It's just whenever the news is on, it's like, hang on a sec, what's going on here? So I have to look into it so I know what's going on with the country, because It's in a little bit of a state at the moment.
Yeah.
So the next question I've accidentally put in caps, so I'm going to say it in caps. Do you think the media is biased?
Absolutely. Because, like, media inherently is biased because everything's set up by people with similar views to, like, something. So, inherently, that section of the media is going to be more, well, I guess, molded to people who have similar views to that, and it's not going to be, like, varied as much. It's going to be biased against something, because it's not just created by everyone with different views on everything, so it's just going to be biased to at least something. Prime example, BuzzFeed, Wall Street Journal, that pretty much any discovery page on Snapchat.
So, Lennox, would you like to ask the next question, please?
What is your opinion on Brexit, Kyle?
Fucking mistakes were made. Our country is going to go to shit. At least, like, with Brexit, I get we're gonna have to, like, we do have to pay the EU, like, money to stay in the EU, but we get more money out of it because we pay less for trade, so we're gonna have to pay more for that. Our holidays are cheaper, and that's, like, clearly the biggest advantage.
Yeah.
Then the other companies from the EU can come over in England and offer more job opportunities. Like, there's a bunch of stories that came out during the vote. The companies were asking their employees to stay in, otherwise they wouldn't be able to offer them a job anymore. And because we're leaving the EU, because of the whole issues with trade and everything, the NHS has started to stockpile medicines because after we leave, we're not going to have as much access, so need to stockpile it so it's not that limited. Actually, Josh, I think you found that that's your question.
Oh.
Professionalism, people.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is your opinion on Conservatives?
Conservatives, I understand their viewpoint, but I don't really agree with it myself, but I do understand that overall it is better for the country.
So, Kyle, what would you do if you bumped into Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn on your way home?
To put it bluntly,
Oh, no.
Theresa May isn't surviving that exchange, and taking Jeremy Corbyn to the pub seems like a nice lad.
Yeah, it does.
Might buy me a few drinks, never know. Get myself a new sugar daddy.
So,
I need the money, don't judge me.
what do you think about Lib Dems?
I've never actually looked into their policies too much, so I'm not really sure. But from what Adam has said, they seem to be, like, I believe a mix between, like, the Conservatives and Labour, so I believe they would be the best option for the country, probably. Unless they're different to what I believe they are, because I'm not really too sure.
So, Kyle, are you religious? And if not, why?
No, because just growing up, everything, well, my mum's not religious either, so that has had some influence, like, how can it not?
Yeah.
But with all the evidence I've seen, it just leads to there not being a religion that's right. It's like the Bible says that the earth was created 8,000 years ago, and it's been proven that it's a lot older than that. But just didn't really seem logical, and I don't understand how some of those things can happen, and I understand miracles and all that. It's like holy, it's not normal and supernatural and all that things, and that's the explanation for it, but it just seems very far-fetched to me. But I understand why people do believe in certain religions, and their values are very good for the most part. So I believe their values, or some of them, should be kept around, but I'm not too sure about religions as a whole.
So what would a perfect society look like?
My perfect society would be the theoretical communist society, even though it does not work in practice, but everyone's equal, there's no discrimination, everyone gets an equal, like, pay, so there's no one in, like, incredibly bad living conditions, no one's in good conditions, or overly good conditions, but it also leaves a lot of room for corruption, so theoretically it would be the best, but in practice, not really.
So Kyle, what do you think of the one and only Priestley College?
The one and only, damn. Privileged.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really too sure what to think of it, because like, there are a lot of good things, and I appreciate all the resources that are open, but not experienced another college, so I can't really compare it to anything.
Yeah.
Personally, I would presume it's a lot better than the Royal Vale.
Yeah, I would agree.
Walking
Same.
past it every day, everyone's just. I remember once, I just walked past and someone just randomly shouted at me, "Priestley shit." I'm like, okay, so what? But it's like, there's a lot of good things about it, but there are a few things that I dislike as well. So I don't like the fact that they sellotaped the gate stopper. I feel like that was probably because of me, because I kept it open, but still.
So, do you prefer Starbucks or Costa?
Well, I've never really been to Costa, but from what I hear, it's just coffee, and Starbucks does offer some variation. I've been to Starbucks a couple of times, not really paid that much to be honest, but Starbucks is, like, what they offer seems to be very good, though I do understand from the prices it is a bit expensive, but I'd have to say Starbucks because they offer stuff that isn't just coffee.
So, before I ask you the penultimate question,
Oh.
Lennox, please can you ask this question that I've highlighted? It's a bit of a surprise question.
I love this question. Alright, so before this interview, we were told about a teacher called Mark Salmon, and I think everyone, the whole college has heard great rumours about this man. So, do you think he lives up to what people say about him?
Fucking legend, absolute unit. He is great. I've never had any lessons with him, to be fair, but seen him around quite a bit. I usually arrive as he does, and it is the best thing to arrive to college to in the morning. Or just watching that glorious unit walk in.
Wait, Kyle, some of the viewers might not be familiar with who Mark Salmon is. Do you want to, give him a bit of intel?
Lennox, you're lying.
So, I'll ask the last question. So, before you go, well, I say that we were going to plan a few more features with you, but because this is a previous interview we've adapted, I'll say it anyway. Before you go, can I try out a new radio feature with you?
Why? Sure thing, Josh.
Great, thank you. It's called Guess Who, where you guess the song I am playing, and you have 10 seconds to guess each song.
Oh, I'm going to be fucking atrocious at this.
So, please, Lennox, please could you get the blindfolds?
Hey, what? Bird box.
Whoa, wait, what?
I didn't sign up to this. What's this BDSM shit?
No, basically, please could you turn around, Kyle? Because you'll be able to see this thing on the screen.
Alright, if you did want me to get a blindfold, I have like 3 in my bag, just always there.
Of course, as you do.
As you do, yeah. So what kind of genre do you like, Kyle?
To be honest, anything. Usually I tend to stick to rap, grime, and metal, but pretty much anything.
Okay, right, I'll pick one of my favourites.
Oh,
Guaranteed I don't know this. Guaranteed.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure whether to feel offended or complimented.